Oh, Haas, where did it all go wrong? Just in case y'all couldn't tell from the sound of my voice, I'm from the land of AR-15s and apple pie, the United States of America. And these Haas guys, these are boys. These are boys. Haas F1 Team is the official F1 team of the United States. And just in this past couple of days, they've announced that Guenther Steiner is stepping away. He's gone. He's not the captain of this ship any longer. And I think Haas are fucked, as if they weren't already. But Guenther Steiner, he's the guy who started this team. He's the one who wanted to start a team in the United States, and he went to Gene Haas to get the funding and to get the backing. This team is his brainchild. He's got as much to do with the creation of this team as Gene Haas, if not more. But make no mistake, this team has been off the rails for many, many years, and today I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to tell you why I think Haas have just thrown themselves into the bin. I mean, they're in the trash, and they've been there for quite some time, and the reason I think it is because these guys are gone, and these guys are gone, kind of. And lastly, these guys are gone. Kind of. Now let's cast our minds back to 2015. This was the year before Haas joined the F1 grid, but surely they were already preparing their entrance. I mean, they had to in order to get ready for the season opener in 2016. It just doesn't take less than a year to start an F1 team. And back then, we had teams like Marussia and Sauber and Lotus and Force India. Now, these four teams were mid-tier to back marker. Force India finished 5th in the constructors' standings. Lotus finished 6th. The things that these four teams had in common is that they were on the verge of financial collapse. I mean, first you got Marussia. Everybody knows Marussia. I mean, when weren't they about to run out of money? When weren't they about to implode? I feel like their entire time in F1, they were on the verge of shutting down. But of course, that year, we also had Sauber, who had 2 pay drivers. They had just come off a completely pointless 2014 campaign. They weren't doing too well either. And Lotus and Force India, despite the fact that they were in the midfield, Lotus even got a podium. They had 3 great drivers and Pastor Maldonado. They were also on the verge of financial turmoil. I mean, Lotus, when they got their podium in Belgium, they basically also had their car seized in the garage for missed payments. And Force India, I know they didn't go belly up until 2018, but 2015 was the year where we kind of first figured out that there was an issue. I mean, VJ whatever that guy's name is, was already banned. I can't say that. He was already pretty much barred from every single country besides the UK, so you knew there were some problems there. And Haas see all this financial turmoil in F1, and Guenther goes to Gene Haas and's like, all right, brother, we're just going to buy all our parts off the shelf from Ferrari, keep the costs low, and we're going to have you, Gene Haas, foot the bill. The only thing you needed in F1 back when Haas was joining the grid was financial stability. If you were financially stable, if you could clear a check, you would sort of rise to the top as these other teams began to fail. And that is exactly what happened. Flash forward to, 2016, Marussia folded at the end of 2016. That year, Haas finished 6th in their first race. That 6th place would have guaranteed them finishing ahead of both Manor and Sauber. And they also beat Renault by having a couple more good runs. And slowly, the financial stability cream rose to the top. We just talked about Renault. That was Lotus. They got bailed out by when Renault re-bought them. Sauber in 2017, oh my god. This team was horrible in 2017. And slowly but surely, as the years went on, Haas sort of began to improve. But it wasn't that much, but it didn't matter because while they were sort of improving, all these other teams were just collapsing. And of course, in 2018, Force India went belly up and had to be saved by Lance Stroll's family. In 2018, Haas finished 5th in the constructors' standings. What an incredible performance and an incredible rise to the top for Haas. And that is basically where the success ended. Because unfortunately, the business model that all you need to do is be able to clear a check didn't work anymore. Haas, of course, got their title sponsor, Rich Energy, and that's just another video worth topic. Just not worth it. Before 2019 even happened, before Rich Energy even happened, Liberty Media bought F1, and that's sort of what set the stage for all these teams getting saved. Sauber were saved by these folks right here. That Alfa Romeo money came in. And ever since 2017, no one has been talking about financial issues at Sauber. It's just non-existent anymore. And now these guys are going to be Audi. So yeah, no financial issues there. And of course, we all know about Force India. That Lawrence Stroll / Aston Martin / Saudi Arabia money that may or may not be illegal. Oh yeah, the crypto stuff too. Crypto, yeah, that stuff's going great. And of course, little old Marussia. Actually, no, they just fucked off. They never came back. And so then you're left with Haas, who are in a financial model where all you got to do is foot the bill and you're going to beat the teams that are about to collapse. But no teams were ready to collapse anymore, and now Haas were the team on the brink of collapse. They barely even made it through the pandemic. They were so close to shutting down. And F1 nowadays, you know, it's just not a day anymore where half the teams are on the verge of shutting down. Like, this is probably the healthiest point in F1 history for the F1 teams. That's why all the team principals are so against Andretti joining the grid. They don't want to split the pie up in any more pieces. And while all this is going on, Haas never really changed. I mean, they sort of did. They hired 2 pay drivers, but they both sucked. But now their 2 drivers are Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hülkenberg. They're good drivers. They're really good drivers. They aren't improving anything. And that's exactly what Haas is lacking. They're still buying the Ferrari parts, but that just doesn't work anymore. There's no teams left that you can beat simply by clearing a check. And so from that perspective, it almost makes me think that maybe, just maybe, Haas can turn over a new leaf now that Guenther Steiner's gone. Whoa. Maybe the change in management will allow them to change their approach to F1. Because that's really what needs to change at the end of the day. But I don't know. I feel like he's almost so ingrained into the culture of that team. I mean, it could even be worse for them this year without him. And we've known for a long time because of Drive to Survive that Gene Haas didn't want to pay for the whole thing and be a laughingstock of the grid. And that's kind of what they are right now, unfortunately. They've been the worst team for 3 seasons now. They weren't the worst team in 2020. I guess they weren't the worst team in 2022, but they really only had like 2 good performances at the beginning of the year. And then they fucked off. So what do you think, folks? What is the future of Haas F1? Is this change in team principle? Will that save the team? Or is it too late? Are they already 6 feet under? Will we see Andretti maybe buy this team or something? I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. Let me know what y'all think, and I will see you in the next video.